IBGR.network. IBGR is our call sign as a radio station. But we are more than a radio station. We are a global network. Now, I'm your host, Jan Robberts, the inspirational entrepreneur, and I'm actually talking to you from Durban, South Africa. Sunny, hot, humid Durban. And, you know, this is episode 2, and it's your story, your voice, your time. So now a confident entrepreneur helps their people find their voice. And this is in our People Lane, People Skills for Success at IBGR.network. You can actually download my show notes and everybody else's for that matter, for more than 40 show hosts around the world at IBGR.network. And if you've been here since the beginning of the last 3 sessions as well, you probably now already get an idea how important to entrepreneurs a story is and how important it is to share your story, your passion, your vision with your employees or prospective employees, prospective customers, clients, prospective joint venture partners, prospective investors. It is so important. Now, I had one here which is Andrew Carnegie. The famous industrialist didn't build a huge fortune because of professional experience or formal education. In fact, he dropped out of school, oh dear, at an early age to work. He served as a bobbin boy at a cotton mill. Most of you probably don't even know what one of them is. And then a telegraph messenger. He then worked his way up through the railroad industry and taught himself by reading as much as he could. I already say readers are leaders, and through reading a lot will happen for you. But Andrew Carnegie, Carnegie Hall, he has sponsored thousands of libraries around the world. In Scotland, he's got a golf course and all kinds of things going on. You know, he was, most people know some of his story, but he was a philanthropist of note. And, you know, I just want to point out, most of these people I've told so far that they have no formal schooling or dropped out of school. That doesn't mean that if you're still in school, wanting to become an entrepreneur, don't drop out. Stay the course, and you know, you don't need formal education in their case, but you still need to connect with them, and so you need to make sure that you at least have a passion and you why. And I'm going to talk in all these kind of subjects because it's so important in the People Lane. But I want to, before I talk you the 6 steps to develop your story, I'm going to talk a little bit about mine now. As a young boy, I got bullied. I was kind of under height and overweight. Basically, I was way too fat. I was a fat boy. Now, people say, you know, sticks and stones may break your bones and words will never hurt you. Well, that is the biggest load of BS I've ever come across, because as we all know, and we now know that words can physically harm people as well. But of course, it was before I was 12 years old. At the age of 12, I grew to the height I am now, 6'4". Yes, I'm a Dutchman, so we grow pretty tall in that country. I think we're the world's tallest nation. But the bullying stopped, but the bullying in my head carried on. So I started bullying myself. Now that whole journey at 17 led me to draw a line in the sand, and I couldn't do anymore. I had an ulcer before that already, a stomach ulcer, which people said couldn't happen to children, at that time at least. But I got a personal development book at 17, and that's my personal development journey started then. And it is still ongoing now. Now, through the bullying, I always wanted to belong, and I wanted to serve people, because I wanted to belong to a group. Even though my friends called me names and all that, I did my best to belong. Now, once I started my personal development journey, and it took time, and it didn't happen overnight, but the internal bullying started to go away, and I didn't need to belong anywhere. People wanted me to belong to groups now, and I didn't feel like I needed to belong anywhere anymore, because I really, it gave me a passion. I already never bought any newspapers in my early 20s. That was another thing, garbage in, garbage out. So I chose quality in, quality out. I knew for many years that there was something more for me to do. I ended up in the oil industry, but I never hated my job, but I knew there was more for me, that I couldn't go through the rest of my life just doing that. Even though I was helping and training people and going around the world, and people thought it was wonderful. Yes, 10 months of the year in hotel rooms is not that wonderful anymore. But some events happen in your life, and they happen in my life as well, good and bad. The death of a very close friend of mine who was much younger, he's more like a little brother to me. It brought me back down to my knees, and the opportunity to go and help start transformation of an entire country, and that's really where eventually I said, if not now, then when. And after on the way home from that transformational trip, I decided now is the time. I quit my job after 30 years and I became an entrepreneur. Now that whole story is a lot longer, as you can imagine, but I've always had that passion in me, and it's even more so now to help other people, to support and guide other people to become the best they can be. And I'm also a keynote speaker because I want to inspire from the stage as well. I want to talk about my story, and I want to talk into other people that, it is all possible, whatever we come from. We are not our past. We are our future when we start creating. We can't be living in our past, and don't let other people's opinion of you ever become your reality, as Les Brown always says. But also don't let your past become your future. You are here now. Open a clean slate. Start writing your story. You know how important it is. Start writing your story and start your memories, good and bad. Start writing them down and what shaped you to become an entrepreneur. And there is a lot more to it, and I'll tell you my story sometime. It'll probably be somewhere on Facebook already or in YouTube, my YouTube. But I hope you get a bit of an idea there. But there are 6 steps to develop your story, and follow these steps so you can refine yours as well. And the first one is build your mission around your customers' conflict. See, this is the setting for your story. Every startup has a mission. I mean, why else launch it? Put that mission into the context of the lives of your customers. You might have just started your business, or you've begun trying to brand and market it. You may be highly skilled but brand new to marketing. You don't always have time to market your business, and you're not sure where to start. The second one is emphasize with their emotions. So be personal. Make it emotional. Get to the heart of their inner conflict. How do you connect with them? So get to the heart of their inner conflict and bring your story, weave your story into it. See, it's the emotional touch that builds trust and understanding. So for us, our story touches on the fact that customers are exciting. So to work with, you need to make sure that people really see that you are friendly, that you're caring when they're interacting with your brand. So the third one is understand why your version of this story is different. So sure, many competitors are all trying to provide products and services to alleviate the same challenge. So what makes your resolution to their conflict different, and why is that so compelling? Now the difference can stem from background. Why did you launch your startup? See, the story is happening again. Beginning, how did you found your company? Process, how do you do things differently? Product, what does it do that none else or no one else can, or no other product can? For example, there are plenty other small businesses branding and marketing out there. What makes you different if you are branding and marketing? So show your customers how you work, where you come from, who you are, so they understand who they're buying from. See, part of your story is their story, and that's very important. The fourth one is use your story to spark action. See, action is the difference between creative writing and marketing. While your story must be authentic, of course, the end goal of branding and marketing is to spark action, to make customers believe in you and buy from you, of course. That means you must tease them with the idea of a blissful world in which their conflict has been resolved. So, as an entrepreneur, you're solving problems. So with customers, what problems can you solve? What difficulties can you ease so they can grow, so you can grow your business and you can have satisfied customers? And the fifth one is simplify your story. That means you must delete all the garbage jargon and simplify your story in a few quick sentences. Now that's why I brought all these short stories in, because they're all short and to the point, but there's a lot more to these stories, of course. But you get an idea that when your story, of course, is totally different from theirs, but just to give you some ideas of where these people all came from and became so successful. And if them, why not you? So no one will give you startup the time of day if you can't communicate who you are and why you matter in a few seconds. So I hope that makes sense. Then tell the same story everywhere. When it comes to your startup story, consistency is the key to success. On social media, in your ad campaigns, on your website, in your product briefs, your story must sound and feel the same. So to manage it, document your story in a few different standardized formats that includes everything from a tweet length single sentence to 250 words to 500 words, and these standard texts will help prevent a team member from going rogue with their own version. Storytelling is the key to a successful startup brand. With a great story, you'll connect with customers, employees, influencers and investors alike. Now I hope that makes sense to you. So there are 6 steps that you can take. Now, when I help people, I'm talking about body language, I'm talking about tonality, I'm talking about voice, I'm talking about everything that you can do to your story, how to create a good beginning, a middle and an end to your story, and how to cut out a lot, because less is more. So to cut out a lot of stuff that you don't need, but to have impact, because you don't want to talk a half-hour story when a few minutes should captivate your audience. I hope that makes sense to you. You know, I love helping people create their stories and giving them their voice, because my line for my JR Speakers Club again is, it is your story, your voice, your time, and that certainly is. Now, you know, we actually, I can, as a global influencer, I provide diverse solutions for mainstream challenges, and that includes presentation skills, training, your personal development plan, online presenting from home, how to connect with your distance teams, your personal profile, coaching, as well as coaching training. And if you have challenges in your organization but not sure what they are, we have a gamification tool to support you and your leadership team in pinpointing those very challenging, as well as provide the right solutions for you. Now, next week I will be back, of course, but you're listening to IBGR.network, the International Business Growth Network. You can connect with me at www.Key Leadership Institute or JR Speakers Club, or all my details on IBGR.network. I'm your host, Jan Robberts, inspirational entrepreneur, and I look forward to be with you at the same time, same place next week. Take care and have an amazing day.